I'm a wife, a mother of 5, a grandmother of 3, a part-time worker and student, and a former resident of Aurora, Colorado. I'm one of the many victims across the nation of the violent transnational gang, Agua, and a former lifelong Democrat. My husband and I resided at the Edge of Lowry apartment for 4 years. And while the first few years were a pleasant experience, we soon began observing changes in our once quiet neighborhood. And in the spring and summer of 2024, we noticed shuttles dropping off large number of illegal immigrants onto the property. Throughout the year, we watched in horror as a few apartments full of migrant families quickly evolved into large groups of gun-toting, military-aged males, threatening the remaining leaseholders into abandoning their properties, then kicking in the doors to the many vacated units to make room for other gang members. Open-air drug use, drug dealers, and seemingly underage prostitutes filled the common areas of the buildings. Large parties in the parking lots lasted well into the morning. Stolen and abandoned vehicles blocked residents' cars, property damage was evident, and random shootouts soon began to be expected on our block every night. These criminals brought in unlicensed electricians to run electricity to abandoned apartments and locksmiths to change the locks on the outside of the buildings to deny access to the owners, emergency services, and even the leaseholders of the building. Despite several calls for help to the Aurora Police Department, they often provided conflicting excuses for not responding. For example, one officer told me that he wanted to respond, but was instructed not to. Or they were often responding to other rampant crimes across the city, or had to respond to any crime in my neighborhood with no less than 3 or 4 officers and an armored vehicle. One officer suggested I go to the media because he felt sorry for me. He likely unintentionally saved my life. Although we were low income and barely paying our bills, we realized the need to invest in home protection, and we purchased 3 additional handguns and 6 cameras in the event that we had to defend ourselves. And during June and July, the gang members slowly began to torture us through intimidation, loud arguments, physical conflicts outside our door every night, vandalizing, taking over vacant apartments on our floor. And after several confrontations with the gang members, several calls, and submitting video evidence to the Aurora Police Department with no results, we gave up trying to stop them from squatting on the property. We spent the next few weeks looking for another rental, and we were unable to locate another low-income property rental that didn't have the same exact issues that we were facing every day. We reached out to local mainstream media, several NGOs in our community, begging for help, only to be turned away because we were just ordinary taxpayers. There were no government programs to grant citizens temporary protected status from imported gangs in our own country.